Okay, here we go with the first lesson. And if you haven't yet, you haven't had a chance, definitely watch that video I sent a link to on how to practice the lessons. It's going to go into, you know, good details about what to do when mistakes happen, when you're supposed to move on, things like that. Um, don't know if you have a copy of that the metronome method. I'm going to send you a copy of that too. Basically, and there's a free EPUB file reader to make sure that the book opens properly. Uh, Basically, this one company that I got the software to make these things for, they have their own reader for it, just to make sure everything opens properly. There's other readers that can open them, but it doesn't always open exactly how it should look. So I'm going to send a link to that too. It's basically just how details how we're going to use metronome for a lot of things. So you're going to focus on just getting a good solid alternate strumming. So just down, up, locking into that beat. Seems like you got a pretty good understanding of the rhythm already. We just got to get it polished up, smooth it out, and let's see. So some things here at the top of the file, and please let me know if you have Guitar Pro. I can't remember if I asked that yet. But yeah, I'll be sending over PDFs as well as the Guitar Pro files. Definitely want Guitar Pro if you don't, because man, is it helpful. So your instructions here is for both of these. It says spend 10 to 15 minutes working this up as fast as you can. Always start at 60 beats per minute each practice session. So no matter how fast you get, always start at 60, okay? And then only go up in 5 BPM increments. I'm fine if you go up slower than that, but not faster. We want to make sure we take our time with this, make sure every step of the way that the rhythm is solid. We're making sure everything is spaced properly, the right strumming direction, all that sort of thing. So a big mistake people make is they go up, too big a jump with increasing their speed. So like maybe 10 or 20 beats per minute. And although that might be fine for some things, usually it's not a great idea because you're missing out on all kinds of good repetitions. And repetition, like playing these things correctly over and over and over again, that's what's going to make it stick. And then when you gradually, very slowly increase the speed, increase it by very tiny amounts, that gives us a chance to really ease into the faster speeds. So yeah, only 5 BPM increments with this stuff. And 1 second, I gotta double check something. No, that is correct. All right. So yes, after 10 minutes is up, then you want to aim for one more good take and then end the practice session. Like always end with a good take. So that's important. Like when you send over your stuff to me, make sure that when you reach the end of your session, end with a good take. Even if you have to slow the metronome down to get a good take, do that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you to do for each submission. Record your final practice session for each thing. So like 2 videos would be fine. If you need more than that, sometimes people use a device that has a time limit on what they upload. But you uploaded the video that was over 40 minutes long, so you were already good to go on that. Yes. Um, if you don't have it set up yet, the microphone, definitely want to have it set eventually so I can hear you count stuff, because it is very important that we do this. It's important we practice counting out loud while we do these things. That's another thing we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, after 10 minutes is up, aim to get one more good take, and then that's the end of the practice session for that day. And then if you max out in less than 10 minutes, that's fine. End it there. So let's say basically when it takes you like a couple minutes of really struggling to get one more good take, and then you finally get that good take, that's it. You're done. We don't want to spend, up to 5 minutes of just trying to increase the speed by, one more notch. It's just overkill. It's better to just get to a point where like, yep, this was a struggle, but I finally got it, and then end it for the day, try it again the next day. And then most likely what's going to happen is you're going to notice you're going to be able to jump up speeds a little bit more smooth, a little smoother and faster, with less mistakes happening as you progress throughout the week. And then, yeah, from 60 to 120 beats per minute, those speeds, at least those speeds, I want you to say the rhythm out loud as you play it. One of the most important things I was taught is if you can't say it, you can't play it. So saying the rhythm that you play while you play it is immensely helpful. Immensely helpful. Your rhythm gets more solid. Your understanding of reading this stuff gets, a lot easier, a lot easier to understand it. It's a fantastic thing to do. And, we're going to be doing much more complicated stuff, and just being able to understand music in general, things that you might want to play, learn, write yourself. The more rhythm you can understand, the better off you're going to be, for sure. So yeah, tap your foot along with that metronome. So again, 60 to 120, definitely tap it along with every beat. Tap along with every beat. Eventually, it can get fast enough to where tapping every single beat could be a pain in the butt or just feel like it's impossible. So when I am reaching speeds where it's like really tough to keep my foot going every single click, for like this 4/4 example, I might tap my foot on every first and third beat instead. Other things that might be really complicated, I might just tap my foot at the beginning of the bar, especially if it's going really fast and there's all kinds of crazy things happening. But the more you can tap your foot with the metronome, the longer you can do that, the better timing you're going to have. So yeah, I'm still working to tap my foot more and more when it comes to like playing, really lots of notes within one click and really fast. So it's definitely a skill worth building on. Okay, so I mentioned, just said, say out loud, count out loud, what the rhythm is that you're playing. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So basically, I have, your standard eighth note count up here. And we're starting with eighth notes. And so basically, your eighth notes here, you're lining it up with the grid. And thinking of it like that. As we get into more complex stuff, it's going to be more helpful. So kind of easing into this, we're going to play one rhythm twice with the same chord, and then we change the rhythm. So basically, the quarter note, there's only one quarter note each bar. It's going to move. The one quarter note's going to move position. So this way, gotta do a bit of thinking with this one. It's not really all that straightforward, but it's not too crazy yet. So let's just see where you get, how you do. So for this stuff, if you reach 240, you don't need to go any further. You can send video demonstration over early. So let's go over that portion of how we're doing things. So for numbers 1 and 2 here, if you reach 240 before the day to submit your stuff, record yourself doing it at the 240, and then also record it at 60, 80, 100, 120, basically going up in 20s, just so I can see and hear, well, what are you doing in the slow tempo, what are you doing in the medium tempo, and all that. So yeah, and like if you're about to attempt 240, just start recording, because you might get it, and then you can just drop it down and hit it at 60, the 80, and all that, back up to the 240 again, or at least you can stop it. Yeah, so if you record 220, or I'm sorry, if you record 240 at the beginning of the video because you're attempting it for the first time and you nail it, you can just go 60 to 220 just for the other stuff. So, and then we can make other changes to that if need be on submitting things early, depending on how things go. And because it's a video correspondence thing, we're sending things back and forth like this. We need to do at least a few back and forth lessons like this in order to get all the finer points dialed in, but we will. So I hope all that makes sense of what to do. Basically, if you do not reach 240, and you don't have to, big time emphasis on that. You do not have to reach that. That is fine. Sometimes often people will hear a number like that and think they have to reach that or else they failed. Like, no, always chase the accuracy. Do not chase the speed. Don't chase the speed. Speed is a byproduct of playing accurately at faster and faster tempos. Chase the accuracy first, not the speed. My thing is, if you reach 240 with something like this, it's time to move on for sure. Like, you don't need to keep working on that. You definitely got it. So yeah, final practice session. Whatever you're going to do your final practice session, make sure you record the whole thing, send it over. Unless you're able to reach the 240 early, then send over the 240 take plus going 60, 80, 100, and all the way up doing 20s. And I'll check it out, let you know how it goes, or like what I'm hearing, things like that. And okay, I think that covers it. So now it's time to demonstrate. So I'm going to play these things at 4 different speeds so you can hear and see how things go at like slow, medium, and fast tempos. And I'm going to count off 4 so you can follow along. So basically, we're locking in the strumming like this. If it's a downbeat, like when the metronome clicks, we strum down. And then when in between the clicks, we're going to do an upstroke. So like your foot's tapping with the metronome, your hand is synced up with that foot. So foot goes down, the hand goes down. Foot comes up, the hand goes up. So it's just back, everything synced up. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so here we go. And again, I'm going to count out loud what the rhythm is. I'm going to say what the rhythm is as I'm playing it. So how I do this is what you want to do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3, 4 and 1 and 3, 4 and done. For that last chord, even though it says it's a whole note, when you're practicing, you do not need to let it ring out all 4 beats. It's just easiest to fill that out as a whole note to fill up the bar. In fact, don't let it ring out all 4 beats, because as soon as you hit that correctly, you want to bump up the metronome and go again immediately. So you don't want to wait for all 4 beats to go by for that last bar. Again, that's just the easiest way to fill it out. So just hit the chord, move up. Hit the chord, move up. Other thing, when you do this, I want you to try and keep the chords ringing out as much as possible. It's like when you go from the A5 to the F5, keep pressure down on the strings as if you're going to be sliding to it, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're just matching the chord change with the strum at the same time. So what we want to avoid is this, like stopping the sound of the chord or things like that. So keep pressure down on the strings, so this way it's a continued sound. We don't want to have the sound cut off going from one chord to the next. We want to keep it continuing. So hopefully that makes sense as well, because that's one thing I noticed sometimes on some of the chord changes, you were cutting off the sound going from one chord to the next, but every now and then you wouldn't. So I get the impression you can do it. We just want to make it a conscious effort to always do that. Okay, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 4 and done. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. whopping 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, on to number 2. So this one's a little bit more challenging, as every bar is a different rhythm and changing chords each bar as well. So anytime that you have a complicated rhythm, good idea, just count it first. Count what it is. See if you can figure that out. And sometimes what I'll have students do is just count along with the metronome without playing anything yet. This way they get the rhythm established. Another thing with stuff like this, if you need to break it down into smaller pieces, do so. It's always a good idea to break things into smaller pieces when you have something that's difficult. So you can work up 1 bar at a time, you can do 2 bars at a time, 3 at a time, that's fine. So if you find yourself having some trouble with 1 or 2 bars, focus on that. Work on those 1 or 2 bars, working those up as fast as you can, get it nice and smooth and polished, and then put it all back together. So here we go. Number 2 at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Something sounded weird to me. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and done. Notice how my hand is just basically keeping the same motion the whole time. So I'm not like doing quick jerky type motion. Just keep it smooth the whole way. It's nice and smooth the whole time. Okay, here we go. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and done. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. Okay, that's it for the first lesson. Any questions, please let me know, and I will see you again in your new videos.